Right, welcome back to the 2025 paper. We're looking at section C here in the applied graphics. So it's the geological geometry question, C1. A. So the accompanying map located on the back of section A shows the contours in 5 metre vertical intervals on the N22 Macroom bypass in County Cork. Okay, so that's found here. Okay. ABC is a centre line on the roadway. So A to B to C here is the centre line of the roadway. The roadway has the following specifications. So a portion from A to B is level at an altitude of 75. So from A here, A is at 75 and B is at 75. All right, so A to B at 75. Okay, portion from B to C is falling uniformly. 1 is to 15. So B to C is going from one height and it's dropping down uniformly. And for every 1, it travels out 15 meters. Okay, using slopes as 1 is to 1 for cutting. So our cut is 1 is to 1 and our fill is 1 is to 1.5. Okay, they want us to complete the earthworks necessary to accommodate the roadway on the southern side. So north, south, east, west, so on the southern side, so just on this side of the roadway. We can see it's been completed on the northern side. And note the earthworks on the northern side have been completed first. All right, so we want to do a few little sketches here to have all the thinking done for us. Okay, so for our level part of the road, right? We're on the road here and it's at 75. And our our cut is 1 is to 1. And we're going to have our fill is 1 is to 1.5. And we'll have our level part of the road here as well at 75. Okay, so for cutting into the mountain, we're going to get a slope like that. And if we're filling, we're getting a slope like that. All right. In the question, we're going in 5 metre vertical intervals. Okay, so I'm going to be travelling up 5 metres. So up 5 metres to here. And that's going to have me at 80. So that's 5 metres up and it's 1 is to 1. So if I'm travelling up 5 metres, I'm travelling out 5 metres. Okay, so everywhere we're doing a cut, we're going to be going in 5 out from the road. In my fill then, we are going to be travelling down 5 metres as well, so 5. Okay, so just to draw this little sketch here. So instead of going 1 is to 1.5, I'm going to be going 5 is to 7.5. So 7.5, I will be travelling out for my fill. So that's on my level part of the road. Okay, now what if we have a cut? Sloping part, and we will have a sloping part here in the road. Okay, so from B, which is at 75, we're going to be sloping downwards, so it's going to be going down. Let's draw a little bit portion of the road here. It's going to be sloping down towards C, so C is down this direction. So B is here at a height of 75. Okay, and we've got intervals of, it's coming at 1 is to 15. Sorry, just the light's coming back on there now. So we're going 1 is to 15. So we're going to be going in 5 metre intervals. Okay, so I'll just draw a little sketch here. So 1 is to 15, but that's changing us to 5. And if I multiply 15 by 5, we get 75. So we're going to have to travel out 75 from B, and that'll get us to a height of 70. Okay, which will be useful later. Okay, so that's 75 out. And then if I'm looking here at this section, the contours are at 75 and 70, 60, down along. So I'm actually going to be doing a fill. Okay, I'll be filling up there because all those are going to be under the level of the road. Okay, so I'm doing a fill. Here's my cone, my semicone. Okay, the height of that cone is 5. I'll just highlight that, so it's 5. And I'm using my fill ratio. So that means the distance out here, that will be radius 7.5. Okay, and my first line then will be touching the base of that cone and going to that point that we've established at 70. And I'll be going out another distance from that, a fill distance of 7.5. And that will be traveling down away, so that'll be going to 65. Okay, so that's for my sloping section. All right, so that's all my thinking now out of the way. I can always refer back to that. So we're going from A across here towards B. It's level at 75. So the edge of the road here is 75. If I look, I've got contours of 55, 60, 65, 70. So as far as here, this section, okay, because it gets above the height of the road, I'm going to be doing a fill here. All right, so my fill, I'm going to be traveling out 7.5 intervals, and that's going to bring me out from 75 to 60. Sorry, to 70, and then 65 and so on. So let's go on and let's measure off those distances. So we're going 15 and 15, and we'll half that, so 7.5, 7.5. I'll only need that there in that section. Okay, so we're at 75, then 70, 65, 60, 55, and that's all I need there. Okay, so we got 55, 55, 60, 65, 70, and down here to my 70 there. All right, so here's going to be my curve. Right, and it's important now not to do a straight line across there, okay? So that's my fill portion. Right, in here now, I'm still at 75. I'm going to be doing a cut. So back to my cut. We're going to be going out in 5 meter intervals. So let's go every 5. Okay, so 5, 5. Okay, so we're doing a fill, so that's going to be up to 80, then 85, 90, 95, and there's no 100, but I'll just label that 100. Okay, so we're going to 80, then 85, 90, 95, back to 95, and we'll go to there as well, just to show we got all that. So let's draw that in. Okay, now the angle of the road changes, okay? We get to here and we change direction. So that cut is still carrying on as far as here at B, because B is at 75. So we need to measure out in 5 meter intervals here as well. So my 80, 85, 90, 95. There's nothing more than 95. Okay, I'll use sliding set squares then. So we're at 80, 85, 90, 95. So 75 is there. We go to 80, 85, 90, 95, back to 95 again, which is actually right there, and then on to my 90. So we need to find the exact point that they intersect. It actually happens for me to be right there. And there we have it, okay? So that's the exact point that they intersect. I'll join that back to my corner. All right, so that's my level part of the road done. Now we want to go on to the sloping part. So we said we want to measure out 75, and that's going to bring us from our height of 70 down, or sorry, 75 down to 70. Okay, so measuring out 75 to there. I'll use sliding set squares then, just to find exactly where on the edge of the road that is. Okay, so at 70 there. All right. Now we said we'd have our cone. Yeah, and it's our fill cone. So fill on the hill. I should have said that. So fill on the hill. So on the high side. That's why I did it up here. So up here at my 75, I'm going to have a radius 7.5. Which is kind of tricky to measure, but we'll find it. Sorry. So 7.5 right here, and we'll draw our, it's too big, 12.5, so 7.5, draw my cone, okay, so there's my cone drawn. And now we want to draw that first line touching the base of the cone and our 70 mark. So that's going to be at a height of 70. So our first line there, tangential. Okay, and we're doing a fill. So like I said, we're going to be going out 7.5 and our next measurement will be 65. So we want to do this perpendicularly if we can. So okay, and parallel to that then, at 70, 65, 60, 55. Actually, I need some of these out here. I'll have to extend them. 70, 65, 60, 55, and 50. And there's nothing smaller than 50. Grand. So we're at 75. Then we want to go to 70. Then 65, 60, 55, 50, back to 50 again, 55, and let's have to number these, sorry, it's not very clear. So 70, 75, sorry, 65, 60, 55, 50. Made a mistake there. So 70, 65, 60, well, 55 is twice, sorry. Okay, so I can ignore those two. So Okay, so that's my fill now on the sloping section. All right, so all of part A completed there now. Part B, we're just going to be down here. On a separate diagram on the map, the elevation and plan of 2 skew boreholes from points R and S are shown. So we've got a borehole drilling straight down there. It's a vertical borehole, right? And we're looking straight down on top of it. And then we've a borehole from S. The borehole at R reveals a top and bottom surface of a stratum or RH, so head wall and foot wall, RF, respectively. So as we drill down, we're getting RH, it's hitting the top surface and exiting the bottom surface there. And they're all in line with each other there because it's a vertical borehole. The borehole at S reveals the top and bottom surfaces of stratum SH and FH respectively. So our head wall and exiting our foot wall, head wall, exiting our foot wall. Determine the strike, dip and thickness of the stratum. So what we want to do is we want to find the top and bottom surface and an edge view of those. Okay, so what we'll have to do is we're going to create a plane and we'll see that edge as a plane. So what I'll do is with this top one, I'll use that. We'll draw a level line. Okay, and we'll go parallel to the edge on, or this line on the foot wall from SH. Okay, so now I've created a plane. Okay, so this is my plane here. Okay, so that line there, the level line, okay, when we look down on top of it, because it's a horizontal line, we'll see it as a true length line here in plan. So O will be down here somewhere, okay, and we know that parallel lines are parallel in all orthographic views. So this line here, which is parallel to RF, footwall line, we want to be parallel to it again. So parallel to this line, same line, from SH, because it's from SH. Okay, and that joins back to RH. Okay, so that's our plane here again. Okay, and we've got the true length of the level line. So now we have a true length of that. We want to look along it and see it as a point view, because then that will show the entire plane as an edge view if we see it as a point view. So the slide and set squares, we're going to set up an auxiliary. So perpendicular to that, we're going to have our x1, y1. And we're going to project out all the points on the head wall and foot wall. Okay. So this is my x1, y1, x1, y1. Okay, we're projecting from plan, which means we're creating an elevation. So I take my heights from the elevation. All right, so my height for SH, follow SH up. My height for RH, RH, there's SH, RH, and then we need our points in our foot wall, so RF, the foot wall, and SF on the footwall as well. So we got R, F, S, F. Okay, and what we should get are a set of parallel lines. So let me just double check here. That will be parallel to that. Brilliant. So parallel set of lines there. Okay. So let me go back to my question. So they've asked us for the strike. Sorry, I should say the strike. Let me label it. Okay, the level line is the strike line. Okay, so this is my strike. S-T-R-I-K-E, strike line. Okay, and we've got a point view of it there. All right. They're looking for the dip angle. So that's the angle that this plane or this stratum of ore creates with the horizontal plane. So I'll just extend this on. I have another color to show that. Okay, and they're looking for the thickness, so I'll actually have to extend on this to find the thickness. Okay, so I'll measure my dip angle. I've got that dip angle at 50 degrees. That's the dip. Okay, and then we've got the thickness. So we have the perpendicular thickness. And I've got that at 10. Okay, so just go back then, double check everything. They asked for the dip, strike, dip, thickness. We found them all, so that's part B completed. Okay, pretty straightforward question there in the 2025 section C.